Alright, I first started to shove the steering box up under there because now it's easy while there's no floor in the way. Well, I didn't want to cut off any more than I needed to, so I cut a slot about a ½ an inch in, and I didn't even use a power tool, I used a hacksaw. And I just simply bent that back a little bit. We're going to drop this into place. I'll see how it fits, and then I'll trim off whatever extra I need. I may not even have to. I might be able just to hammer it down into place. Because once the floor is in, it doesn't need to be removable. It just needs to fit tight. So, we'll see what we've got as soon as we get that far. Well, in it goes. Shit, that went in really easy. A lot easier once I had that relief cut on that corner. Well, as I was saying, that fit a whole lot better than I expected it to. I probably could have cut the relief corner in a little bit of a different angle and it would have fit a little better, but this is fine. This piece here, I can see I could just knock it over with a hammer, weld it in. This piece I am going to have to cut a little bit out, very, very little out of it, and then weld it up against the A-pillar here. Otherwise, it fits nice and flat, nice and flush. The whole way around inside of here. It fits up around the front. And the driver's side appears to fit just fine. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of weight on this thing to hold it down. And we're going to get up underneath and push the steering box into place and see what happens. Hey, welcome back everybody to DuckmanCycles and VW Garage. I am your host, the Duckman. Well, we're back today with my Volkswagen bus that you see right here, and what we're trying to do is get this floor mounted in the front section of it. If you've been following my Instagram, you'll see that I attempted to test fit it, and I actually did get it in there. I had a little trouble fitting it just on this corner. It was off just a little bit, so it's going to require a little bit of trimming out of here. I will demonstrate in this video. You may have already seen it from the beginning of this video. Well, that's pretty much the goal today. See if I can get this floor in there, and whether or not it's going to clear the steering box. I already know it's not because, well, I raised the steering box up considerably in this vehicle. That's where we're going with this today. I'm flying solo today, so you won't be seeing my beautiful assistant in this video, but you will probably see her in one of the next. So thank you all that have liked, comment, and subscribed. As always, plug that dingle belly. That way you get updates every time I upload a video. Thanks again for watching, you guys. Really, I appreciate it. And we'll be back right after that intro. And on the driver's side over here, you can actually see just how perfectly everything fits. Everything all up through here, this is exactly the way it needed to be. Passenger side is only off by just a hair. So, this is going to work out. I think it's going to work out. I mean, it's like a glove. The whole thing just dropped right into place. The seam all the way around here. Oops, in the way. All the way around there is going to work out just fine, just the same. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and push this steering box up into position. Alright, I wouldn't believe it if I didn't see it myself, but we've got the steering box bolted into position where it needs to be. I shoved the drag link into place. I haven't actually pressed it in, but everything almost clears. It's rubbing on the floor, so I am going to need a little bit of clearance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here with a Sharpie, and I'm going to draw a box around the area that needs some clearancing. But it doesn't need much clearancing at all. Everything actually fits in here quite well. So really all I really need to do is just hammer a dimple into the floor, but I'm going to make it a little more attractive than that. Not that it's not going to be covered up with, you know, a rug or a mat, or probably a rug and a mat, and you'll never see it, but I am going to clean it up and just try to make it look a little more professional rather than just beating it in with a hammer, if you know what I mean. But anyway, I am quite pleased with the fitment of everything. I kind of got lucky. I raised that box more than the prescribed amount. In fact, I raised it as much as I thought I could without hitting the floor, and damn it, my measurements are right on. I just don't believe it. Anyways, we're going to go with it. Let's go ahead and pull this floor back out, so start cutting some notches, prepare this thing to get cut welded, and an appropriate box put into the floor. Well, just for grins, I went ahead and threw on that steering wheel. I wanted to see what the angle of the steering shaft was, and looks like it's actually right about the factory angle. It's slightly closer to the dashboard, which is what I wanted, because I wanted more space between me and the seat, because it's just not enough room in this thing for me. Beetle is a different story. A bus, my word, these things are so tight, especially if I plan on tubbing this out because I want to make it lower. That's going to bring the seat closer and put my head closer to the headliner. So I had to make more room for myself, and raising up the steering box in the way that I did actually pushed the wheel a little bit this way and pushed it a little bit up. So it's raised about 1.5 inches, 2 inches, and it might look a little weird to you for those that are purists. But for somebody like me that doesn't mind a custom and needs to fit in the inside of their bus, this is going to work out just fine. I am plenty happy with this. Okay, I think we're good. Everything's bolted in there tight. I need to trace underneath with that Sharpie to make sure we get the marks in there properly, and I've got to start cutting on this floor. Well, it just started to get really windy out here. I hope that doesn't affect my video too much, but here we are. This is the hole that I'm going to be cutting out. I don't know if this is exactly right, so I'm cutting it a little bit on the small side. And what we're going to do is we're going to then lay the floor back in the car with the steering box and make sure everything clears properly before we make a new piece to patch this up or before we cut out any more. I think this is approximately where we need to be. Well, we're about to find out. Okay, well, all this fits together well. Looks like we've got adequate clearance up there on top, so that way the drag link knuckle that attaches to the pitment arm there is not hitting the floor. Plenty of clearance around it. I also put in the box here. That's the box for the e-brake as well as for the shifter, and everything just lines up. It's amazing. Even back here, everything just lines up like it's supposed to. The curvature of the floor, you can't really see it, but the gap that's above it is actually bang on. The floor is not pushed down all the way right now, but it lines up with the box perfectly, like these two pieces were meant to be, and they were, even though these did actually come from two different manufacturers. That's fantastic that those parts actually do fit. Let's go topside and let me show you what we've got. All right, check that out. That floor fits in there really, really nicely. Over here, you can see that knuckle we were talking about. Off to the right-hand side of the visual here that you guys are looking at, right up in there. I'm going to widen it out probably about another 1/4 inch, just to give me a little bit more space. It's not bad the way it is. It's actually going to move a 1/4 inch to the left when I tighten up that nut that you see right there, that little guy. But I'm still going to cut out another 1/4 inch anyway, just to make sure that there's plenty of clearance and space to move everything around. Once again, the shifter box and the e-brake box, all the holes line up perfectly. I don't have any complaints with either of those parts. This is looking pretty well. There's a little bit of welding I need to do and some trimming out of this hole. Then I'm going to paint the whole underside and get this floor, once and for all, welded into place. You guys probably saw I made an additional cut right here, and that's to go over the steering shaft, because it was just a pain in the ass to keep taking this thing in and out every single time that I want to remove the floor. sure there's some cornholio out there watching my video right now that's going to say, Duckman, you're wrong! well, I don't care. In my case, it's helping me to get me to where I need to be. This is, actually goes in a lot easier this way. Here it is. All right. There's our floor, there's our hole. It's a finger width from the knuckle to the side of the metal here. Looks good to me. I wonder how that's going to affect my gas pedal now that I'm looking at it though. Oh yes, that is much better. There's enough clearance on either side of it to be able to pop the ball joint out and not have to worry about hitting anything else. Now I'm not sure where the gas pedal is supposed to be situated in here. I'm going to have to take some measurements on somebody else's bus, I would think. We'll see what pictures I can find online. But otherwise, I am very happy with the way everything lays in here. And that slot was definitely the right thing to do. I don't have to take the whole shaft out every single time that I want to rip that floor out of there. Alright, we're looking pretty good. Now I know where my box needs to go. It needs to be built over there. I'm going to see what I have around the shop that I could weld into place. I'm sure I have something nice that probably has the right shape already. And we'll cut it up and weld it right into there. And as far as this is concerned, I'm going to make a removable bit for that slot. So that way if I ever have to repair or remove the steering box in the future, it's going to be easy. I don't have to jack the car up 300 feet in the air to get the damn shaft out. Yeah, anybody that's removed a steering box from an early bus knows exactly what I'm talking about here. Well, the light is starting to escape me. But what we did here is we filled in the hole with that factory piece that came out. I was actually going to use like a can or something and just tub it in. But when I put the factory part on there, it looks like it was made from factory. And once this is all painted, it will. Not that it's not going to get covered with carpet and mats and everything like I said before. But nonetheless, for a curious passerby, if the mats were pulled out of this thing, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. So that's where we're at. This thing is all welded in. Probably needs a couple little spots touch up because I'm trying to weld here in the dark. But this thing fits brilliantly in the car. So what we're going to do today is we're going to wrap up this video. So thank everybody for watching. So likey, comment, subscribe, plug that dingle belly. That way you get updates every time I upload a video. Don't forget to check out duckshit.net for all my different social media links. There's a lot of them. Not just my YouTube, but I have multiple YouTubes, and I've also got a Instagram and a Facebook group page and a whole bunch of other stuff. So if you'd like to find me in some of the other places, duckshit.net. If you also like some duckshit.net merchandise, visit duckshit.net/store, or, well, just find it on the website. It's there. Anyways, once again, you guys, thanks for watching. We're going to wrap this up because it's getting late. Thanks for watching. Take care.